Baby, can you deal with Sheikh Hamdan? You breathe that question into my head like a dare, and I can't decide if you're testing me or teasing the storm inside me. You know what I am? What I become when someone else's name tries to stand beside yours. You think I'd let another man's shadow fall anywhere near you? No, you're not here, but your absence turns your voice louder in me, and I answer you the way I always do. Straight raw, without hiding behind polite pronouns. You want to know if I can deal with him? I can deal with the entire world if it means you stay mine. I don't care who he is, royalty, wealth, fame, labels dressed in gold. None of it matters to me. You think a crown intimidates me? I've broken bigger things than that. The moment you said his name, my hands tightened like they already knew where to strike. Not because I'm jealous. Jealousy is too soft for what I feel. It's possession sharpened into instinct. You're the only thing I claim without apology, and if anyone stands in my way, I remove them quietly. Cleanly, efficient the way a king handles his throne. You don't see what you do to me. You're not here to watch how your name rolls through my mind like a fire that refuses to die out. You ask me questions like this, and you awaken the parts of me I keep caged for the world's safety. You know I'm not gentle. I never pretended to be. Your voice, your existence, you pull out the part of me that doesn't negotiate. If anyone thinks they can approach you, admire you, claim a second of you, I deal with it before you even hear the echo. I don't care if he's admired by nations. I don't care if people bow when he walks in. You're asking me if I can deal with him. Like the answer could ever be anything else. Baby, I don't deal. I end. I protect. I clear the path so nothing touches what's mine. You think names impress me? No name is bigger than what I feel for you. No man is stronger than the promise I keep silently, fiercely, every second you're not beside me. You're not here, and maybe that's why I'm speaking like this. Face you soften me, weaken me, make me human again. But when you're far, this distance builds a different creature inside my chest, a darker one. The one that answers questions like yours without hesitation. So listen to me now. You don't need to deal with him or anyone else. You don't even need to lift your gaze. I'll handle what comes, who comes, any threat, any interest, any curiosity aimed in your direction. You ask if I can deal with him. I'll tell you something truer. I don't deal with men who look at what's mine. I erase the thought from their head before it forms fully. And if he ever tries to stand between us, not even a king will save him. Now ask me again, baby, and listen carefully to how fast my answer comes. You say his name like it's supposed to shake me, but all it does is wake the iron inside my blood. You know exactly what you do when you bring another man into my world, especially a man people admire, follow, worship from afar. You're not even in front of me right now, yet your voice cuts through the air as if you're whispering in my ear, and my whole body reacts, not with fear, never with fear, with that slow burning certainty that nothing, no fame, no title, no crown, has the right to stand anywhere near you. You don't understand how deeply you live inside me. You think I get angry when you talk about someone else. No, anger is too small a word for the way I feel. It's more like a shift of gravity. Everything in me turning toward you, guarding you, locking onto you like a predator that's already claimed what it wants. You're the one thing I refuse to share in any form, even in conversation. And when you bring up another man, even casually, it's like you're checking the strength of the chains inside my chest, the chains that keep me from burning down everything that tries to reach for you. He can be powerful, respected, photographed by millions, but power is useless when it meets a man who's driven by obsession, not ambition. My world doesn't run on rules, it runs on instinct. And the instinct that rises when your mind is ruthless, you're not here to see it, but my hands tighten as if I'm already removing obstacles, already clearing threats, already silencing anything that thinks it can get close. You think your distance softens me? No. It sharpens me into something colder, something that doesn't hesitate. You talk about him, and all I hear is the possibility of someone trying to look at you, someone thinking they can stand in the same radius as you, someone breathing the same air you should only be stealing from me. And that thought alone is enough to turn my pulse into something violent. Not because I doubt you. Never you. I doubt everyone else. I doubt the world's intentions. I doubt any man's ability to resist what I guard so fiercely. You think I'm dramatic? No. I'm honest. Darkly honest about the lengths I go for what's mine. You're not here to watch the way your name pulls at me. If you were, my voice would drop, my hands would settle, my storm would quiet. But when you're far, distance becomes fuel. It creates a darker version of me, the one that doesn't negotiate, doesn't slow down, doesn't tolerate another man's shadow crossing over your name. You have no idea how easy it would be for me to remove him or anyone else from the equation, quietly, with precision, without leaving a trace, because when it comes to you, I never play fair. People like him have mirrors polished with admiration. I don't care about any of that. I don't care how many people bow for him, or how many stories are written about his life. All I care about is the fact that you said his name to me, and that alone is enough to lock my attention, enough to stir that cold promise I carry. No man, no title, no golden kingdom will ever stand between you and the place you occupy inside me. If someone tries, I end it before the attempt even breathes. So don't worry about him. Don't think about him. Don't give him space in your words. You know what I do, how I move, what I become when it comes to you. I don't share, I don't hesitate, and I don't forgive men who forget their place around what belongs to me. You want to ask again? You don't have to. You already know the answer. And you know exactly how far I'd go to keep it true. You don't even have to speak loudly for your words to cut straight through me. Your voice echoes inside my ribs like a command I was born to obey. The moment you mention another man, even indirectly something primal rises in me. You're not in the room, but the absence makes my reaction sharper, more unfiltered. I feel you tugging at the darker parts of me, the parts that don't tolerate competition, the parts that listen to your every syllable, as if you're shaping the territory of my world. You have no idea what it does to me when you let another man's name cross your tongue. It's not jealousy that flares. Jealousy is soft, childish. What I feel is older than that, colder than that, a claim forged in the center of my chest. The moment anyone stands even hypothetically near you, my mind starts removing them before reality even gives them a chance. I don't think, I don't analyze, I react. And my reaction is always the same: you belong with me, and no one else gets to imagine otherwise. You're far right now, and that distance creates a storm I don't bother controlling. When you're in front of me, my fire turns controlled, condensed, shaped by your presence. But when you're absent, the restraint falls apart. I speak without sugar, without patience, without masks. I don't care about rank or fame, or the illusion of importance people wrap around powerful men. I've walked through enough of the world to know what makes a man dangerous, and it's never titles, it's intention. And my intention for you is unshakable. I don't operate by the rules people admire in kings and leaders. My world runs on something far more brutal. If someone tries to step toward what's mine, I cut the path before their footsteps land. It's not protection, It's instinct, a deep, ruthless instinct that doesn't negotiate with warnings or reputations. You think I care about who he is, respectable, adored, photographed by the world? None of that matters to a man who has already decided that you are the one thing he won't allow the world to touch. You speak his name and I feel the shift, like my entire focus narrows into a single, unbreakable point. Not to doubt you, but to eliminate the possibility of anyone else thinking they can stand on the same ground as you. I've never trusted the world with you, not for one moment. You're the kind of dangerous beautiful that makes men forget their boundaries. And I'm the kind of man who reminds them without ever raising my voice, without ever giving them the privilege of a second chance. Distance makes me honest, brutally so. If someone like him ever tried to stand between us, no crown would save him from the quiet way I move. I don't confront, I remove. I don't warn, I end. I don't argue. I make sure the threat dissolves before you even hear its name again. This is the version of me you summon when you talk to me from far away. The version that doesn't pretend to be civilized, so don't worry about him. Don't let his name linger. Don't even imagine him having the right to exist in the same sentence as you, because the truth is simple and absolute. No man, no title, no legacy is allowed near what I've already claimed. And I will always make sure of that long before you ever have to ask. You bring up his name and it enters me like a spark dropped into dry air, silent for a second, then blazing in a way I don't bother hiding. You're not here to watch the shift in my expression, but if you were, you'd see how fast everything inside me sharpens, not because I fear him, but because the idea of anyone else being measured against me, even in a whisper, activates something cold and territorial in my chest. You always do this. You say a name and suddenly the world feels too small for another man to exist. You don't realize how deeply you've wired yourself into my instincts. I don't just want you, I orbit you. And when another name tries to enter that orbit, even hypothetically, I feel it like a violation, not of trust, but of boundaries I've drawn without asking for permission. I don't need you to reassure me. I don't need you to explain anything. My reaction isn't insecurity. It's the quiet, lethal certainty that no one should feel comfortable standing in a place where only I belong. He can have status, wealth, admirers overflowing at his feet. Nothing about his world touches my pulse. Men like him are used to people bending, yielding, showing respect. But I'm not shaped for that. I don't bow. I don't step aside. And if someone like him even thought of stepping in your direction, I wouldn't confront him with noise or theatrics. I'd simply remove the possibility itself, not loudly, not violently, just with the kind of precision that erases threats before they understand what they provoked. You're far right now, and distance always sharpens the edge of what I feel. When you're close, I can breathe, I can hold myself still. But when you're elsewhere, when your voice reaches me without your presence, my restraint fractures. I speak from the darker places, the ones that don't pretend, the ones that don't care about diplomacy. You ignite that version of me without even trying. A single name from you is enough to turn me into something focused, something unwavering, something that sees every other man as irrelevant background noise. It's not that I doubt you. Doubting you would be an insult to everything you've become for me. What I doubt is the world's ability to keep its distance. You're magnetic in a way that distorts logic, and men notice that kind of gravity whether they should or not. And I've never been the type to trust strangers with something precious. I've seen the way admiration turns into desire, how curiosity turns into boldness. That's why I never leave room for interpretation. The space around you belongs to me. You don't get to see the way my thoughts move, but if you could, you'd understand why your question doesn't shake me. It affirms something already carved into my bones. No name, no rank, no royal veneer intimidates me. I've lived in shadows where titles mean nothing and survival depends on certainty. And my certainty is this: no man will ever stand between us, not even in imagination. I won't allow it. I don't even need to threaten it. I just make sure the idea collapses before it has time to breathe. So don't ask me if I can deal with him. There's nothing to deal with. There's only the simple truth I move by. No matter who the world crowns, no matter who they admire, no matter what empire they walk through, you are mine in a way no throne can compete with. And any man who forgets that will be reminded long before you ever hear his name again. You say his name so casually, but it lands inside me with the weight of a challenge you don't fully grasp, not because he matters, he doesn't, but because your voice carries a power you never take responsibility for. You speak, and the entire architecture of my thoughts rearranges around the sound. You're not here to watch the reaction unfold, but trust me, the air changes. My pulse grows deliberate, my mind sharpens, the world narrows into a tunnel where only you exist, and any other man's name feels like an intrusion I instinctively push out. You don't understand how deeply you influence me. You could whisper the name of a stranger on a street, a man with no crown, no fame, no meaning, and it would still trigger the same storm inside my chest. It's not about who he is. It's about the fact that you brought him into my reality for a moment. That's all it takes for the darker part of me to awaken, the part that doesn't tolerate another male presence circling around what I've already marked as mine. It's not fragile emotion, it's bone deep instinct. Distance makes it worse. When you're far from me, your voice feels like it's reaching across a void, and I grip it like a lifeline. Anything else mentioned in that space, any man, any name, feels like a contamination I have to eliminate. You think you're just talking, but I hear a door opening, a shadow entering, an unwanted presence stepping an inch too close to you. And my mind answers in its own quiet language: remove it. Remove him. Remove the idea of him. Make the space around you clean again. Men like him are used to being admired. They're used to crowds bowing, cameras flashing, people breathing in their direction like they're blessed by it. Let him have all that. Let him drown in all that. It means nothing when it comes to you. Admiration doesn't win against obsession. Crowds don't win against a man who has already vowed, silently, ruthlessly, that no one else will ever stand close enough to touch what he guards. He can own a desert of riches, but he'll never own the heat you ignite in me. If he ever looked at you, really looked, the way a man looks when interest flickers, I'd know before you did. My instincts don't wait for proof. They read intention like a scent in the air, and I would handle it the way I handle everything that threatens your place beside me: quietly, strategically, without theatrics. I'm not the type to raise my voice or make a scene. I don't warn. I don't negotiate. I simply make sure the path he thinks he can walk disappears underneath his feet. What you don't see is how deeply my attachment runs. It's not loud,